work just fine.
All right. Well, we just went live, gentlemen, so everything from here on out is recording. So let's be nice, I guess. Who wants to start it out?
Like with a prayer?
No. Oh, there's Mark. Awesome. Mark,
Hey guys.
how's it going?
Good. So I was able to get connected through my laptop, and it worked for a second with I forget who it was. Was it Sean? Anyway. But then my computer made me switch over to Chrome, and Chrome won't recognize my video or mic. So I'm going to do this by phone if it's working out all right.
It's working fine.
Looks fine for me.
I'm going to cut my settings down a little bit to make sure that my bandwidth doesn't get out of control.
All right. Well, let's get cracking. We haven't heard anything from Hannah, so we'll just move ahead.
Sounds good.
I guess we'll go with the same format as last week. I'll just read off what I've got. There's 3 that I didn't answer or got confused on, and then we'll just see if anybody has anything different and why.
Crud, hopefully it's not the same 3 that I ignored.
That's what I'm hoping for on my end. All right. So number 1, forces that make market economies work are, I got C, supply and demand.
Yes.
Same.
That's what I got too.
Yep.
All right. Bingo. Number 2, the highest form of competition is called perfect competition, C.
It's also what I got.
Yep.
Okay. The next one, demand for a good or service is determined by, I got A, those who buy the good or service.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I agree.
Awesome.
I had D on that.
Oh, wait, is D the one like sellers and buyers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I had.
I did D
The
too.
demand.
You guys had D, all D?
Oh, the demand. Yeah,
I
I think
dropped
it's right.
D on
The
there.
demand.
The demand. No, those who sell the good or service determine the supply. Those who buy determine the demand. And so it can't be both. Or at least I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I went with A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
That's
no,
why I went
read
with
it.
A.
Yeah, A seems like a better one now that I read the first part.
So we're sticking with A. Okay.
Okay.
All in agreement? Good deal. All right. So number 4, most studies indicate that tobacco and marijuana tend to be complements. B?
I didn't remember this from the reading. I skipped over it.
Okay.
So.
Oh, in the reading it says they're complements, not substitutes.
Yeah. That's what I went off of.
I was tempted to say substitutes myself, but complements is the answer I came up with.
I originally did go with substitutes until I reread the text and went, oh, yeah, it's not. Okay.
Good deal. All right. Number 5, I put 0.
I also put 0.
I did too.
I did too.
All right. Good deal. Let's turn this page. I got, let me see. Hold on, did I miss it? Okay, that was 5. This was one of those ones that I got a little bit confused on. I threw an answer in there, but I wasn't too sure. So the movement from DA to DB could be caused by, I put B as a tentative, but I was really just taking a guess.
I think that A could be it, and B could
I
be
put A.
Because if it's an inferior good and there's a decrease in income, then that would increase its demand, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about income here, are we? We're talking about price?
Yeah. Well, no, we're talking about demand. So if we're talking about price, it would cause a movement along the curve.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess you're right. A decrease in price would cause movement along the curve, so it couldn't be A.
Mm-hmm.
All
I
right.
had C.
So if buyers were expecting the price of the good to fall in the near future, it wouldn't cause the curve to move outwards. It would stay the same or contract because they would be waiting for the price to fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so I think it's B. It's a decrease in income, assuming the good is inferior.
Well, that one would make sense too.
Are we all in agreement? Or
Yeah, I agree with that. That sounds about right.
okay. This next one, number 7, was another one that I couldn't even fathom. I got super confused, so I was hoping somebody else would help explain it.
I got A.
Yeah, I got
I
A
agree
too.
with A.
So
Because if you, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry if you don't understand it, let's see if I can remember how I got my answer. Let's see. 50.
While he's looking at that, can I just ask real quick, did we figure out how to record this? Did we get marked down for not having it posted last week?
I don't know if we got marked down. I posted those screenshots, but right now it is recording. So
okay. All right.
We're
good.
Full steam ahead right now.
Got that figured out. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So what I did is I took the supply schedule here, or the demand schedule. I put it in an Excel spreadsheet, and I summed up all the quantities demanded.
Okay.
And then, and so that gives you the quantity demanded at each price. And so for how I figured it out was for $7, the demand was 50. So if you look at A, $7, you come across, there's 50. So that's a good sign right there.
Okay.
And then at $10, the demand is 20. We come across there, and it lines up right about there, $10. And then it's reasonable to assume that at $12, it's going to be 0. So it follows that curve. So that's why I put A.
I mean, looking at it, that makes complete sense to me now.
And this was one it was kind of similar to what was in like the chapter reading. You need to just add all the quantity demanded, and it's just what is at the price of the product, and then you just kind of put over some. That's how I got A also.
Good deal. All right, moving along to question number 8. And the quantity demanded has increased at every price. It might be because I got D, the price of a complementary good has decreased.
I'm sorry, did you say B as in boy or D as in dog?
D as in David, or dog.
I said B as in Bravo.
Okay.
Quantity demand is increased at every price. It might be because... So income would definitely increase demand. If income increases, that increases demand. Price of a complementary good. Remember, price moves things along the curve, but it doesn't move the curve in and out.
You're completely right. I think that was one of those things that I might have got my B's and D's mixed up, because reading this, I don't even know why I put D. I think B makes sense if it makes sense to everyone else.
Yep. That's what I got.
Number 9, quantity supplied of a good is the amount that I got C or D, sorry, D as in David. Sellers are willing and able to sell.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
I agreed.
Yep.
All right. Number 10, today's supply curve for iPods could shift in response to a change in. I was a little bit confused, but I put B as in boy, the expected future price?
See,
Say
I'm
we're on-
so tempted to say D, all the above, except for the fact that it talks about today's supply curve.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's
Right.
where the only thing that's really going to mess with today's supply, I believe, is, like you said, B. But I was looking for someone to disagree with that, I guess.
So I'm also tempted to put B, but what makes me want to put C is this is asking for a shift in the supply curve, and price only shifts it along the curve, but it doesn't shift curves in or out.
I had C also, just from what I was reading, because I was like, oh, this might be the only one that shifts the whole curve.
I got C as well. When because that was my idea. My idea behind it was that the curve of it was moving.
Yeah, I think it's asking what would move the curve.
All right. Yep.
Got it. Okay, then that makes
I
a
can
lot
agree
more
with that
sense.
then.
I'm gonna go
I got
with
hung up
C
on the word
myself.
today's.
Yeah.
So which one are we going?
C is in Charlie?
I had B. So
That's what I had originally as well myself, but it sounds like the consensus is C.
Yeah, so think about it like, okay, so in the future there's going to be the price of iPods. Well, that's not going to increase the demand. It's going to move the place where it's on the demand curve. So if I go down to actually the diagram in question 11, just down a little bit. So if, for example, the price, let's say the X is the price today and Y is the future price. We see that the demand decreases, right? Or not the demand decreases, but the
price
moves along the curve, see? But let's say this is today's demand curve, DA, and, well, people don't like iPods anymore. They like Zunes, so the demand curve shrinks, you see? So price moves along the curve, but other things like taste or how desirable the product is moves the curve back and forth.
It's like kind of an external factor.
Yeah, external factors move it along or move the curve in or out, but price moves it along the demand curve.
And so I think when it says like today's supply curve, it would shift in response to the number of buyers of iPods, even for like today.
Yeah.
That's kind of what would cause the shift.
It
Yeah.
makes sense now. I agree.
Okay.
All right.
And then 11 is kind of the same way too.
Yeah, I had for 11. I had D, Y to X.
Yep, that's what I had too.
I agree.
I was thinking right for 11, but I was all sorts of wrong for 10. All right, moving along to number 12. I had D as in David, 44 units.
Correct. Or
Yeah, that's
I
what I
agree.
got too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say correct because
Yep, exactly. I backed off that.
Nope.
That's what I got.
You said it was right. That's what it is now. All right. For 13, a rightward shift of the supply curve is called an A, increase in supply.
Let's see, right word. I put increased in quantity supplied because just because there is a maybe
There's a diagram in the reading.
because
rightward shift is just an increase in supply.
Right, and then an increase in quantity supplied would be a movement along the curve, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I agree with A then.
I feel like that was one of the ones that's trying to trick us with like an additional word.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll go with A on that one. This is number 14 now. I got D as in David, firm B's and firm D's only.
That's correct.
I agree.
That's what
Yeah,
I got.
that's what I had too.
Anything to go against that? Everybody else good?
I think I'm good there.
All right. Number 15, the unique point in which a supply and demand curves intersect is called D as in David, equilibrium.
Yeah, D as in David is what I got.
Correct.
Good deal. All right. Number 16, at a price of $35, there would be, I put C as in Charlie, a surplus of 400 units.
Yep, that's what I got too.
I agreed.
Yeah.
All right. Feel pretty good about myself, fellas. You guys are agreeing with a lot of things here. All right. Number 17, which of the following movements would illustrate the effect in the market for fences of a decrease in the price of wood? I put B as in boy, point C to point B.
I also had that, but I wasn't sure.
This is one I was hoping to get a little explanation on.
Okay.
Same.
Anyone feel real confident here? Want to go through it?
I put from point A to point B. And maybe
it would
be
that supply line 1. Would it be on the supply 2 line?
I think I might. I have to read this again. Let's see. So, a decrease in the price of wood would move it along the demand curve. There would be greater demand for it, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that's why I put A to B, because there would be more demanded.
There wasn't a shift in the supply.
Yeah, so that's
in the price. That's why I went with A.
Okay. I think I went with B. You know what? I know exactly why I did that. Okay, A is good with me. If that makes sense to everybody else.
I'm trying to think because A and B, the line that goes through B is supply 2.
Right. And that's, I think, why I went through B, because I was thinking it's a different movement, if you will, a different chain. So I was like, well, it has to be on this 2 line.
Because the demand lines, aren't we talking about the demand of wood versus the demand of fencing?
Yeah, so the market for fences for a decreased price of wood, well, a decreased price in wood would increase the supply of fences. Right?
So
because
that's where I thought we needed to go between the two different demand lines, because we're talking about demand of two different things.
Yeah. I think I originally point A to B, but I'm thinking it could be A to D, where it goes from the demand line 1 to demand line 2. Wait, no. Going from A to B, it increases the supply, but it doesn't increase the demand. Right?
Yeah.
So it goes from supply 1 to supply 2, but it stays on demand 1 curve.
Staying on the demand 1 curve.
Yeah. So it goes from the original price because the price of wood decreases, the supply increases for fencing. And so that drives down the price of fencing, which increases the demand. So that's what we see here, an increased supply on supply line 2, increased demand on demand curve 1, but also a decrease in price.
Okay.
So point A to point B. Stick with my original answer.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm good to go then.
All right, A.
Yep.
Yeah.
A it is.
Right.
Now, for 18, I had D as in David, Y to X to keep it on that same.
That's what I got.
I agree.
Y to X. That's what I originally put too.
Okay.
Yeah, because that would decrease the price.
Right.
Okay. And increase
Okay.
the demand. Yep. Okay. Good.
Good deal. All right. This next one, 19, this is the final one that I didn't have a foggy idea about. So, anybody willing to?
I'm hoping someone felt confident in it too.
I put D. Anybody else?
Okay.
That's why I put D too.
A decrease in quantity supplied. So let's think about the question before, though, because there was a decrease in supply and then there was a decrease in quantity supplied, right? So a decrease in quantity supplied moves it along the supply line, right? Or the supply curve, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a decrease in supply would move the curve completely, right? So I'm actually going to change my answer to B, because we can see here the supply curve doesn't move, but instead the further point contracts towards a different demand line. You see
I
what
originally had B too, so
who had B?
I did, Sean,
All right, so
because
I
it's
mean,
just moving along the supply line.
it's definitely not A or C because those show expansions. So it's either B or D, Bravo or Delta. And so, and because we answered earlier, I can't remember which question it was. Let's see if I can find it.
Is it 17? Is it the one that we were going back and forth on?
The quantity supplied of a good is the amount that buyers are willing and able to purchase. Buyers able to produce. Sellers are willing and able to sell. Yeah, so quantity supplied is what sellers are willing and able to sell. But the supply is, let's see if I can find this other question. Well, never mind. I would say, I'm going to say B or D. We can just vote on it.
I'm gonna go with B. I feel pretty strongly about B.
You know, I can probably be swayed, but my gut reaction is B shows us going down in demand. So I kind of agree with B too.
Yeah, that definitely. Yeah, because quantity supplied is not the same as supply, right?
Correct.
Because we could, like, you look at B, anywhere along this supply curve, we could supply it, right? This is quantity supplied along the curve. And the actual supply, oh, wait. Yeah, so that's the supply that we have. We can produce anywhere along this curve. And where the quantity that's being supplied is where the demand and the supply intersect, right? But if you go on down to D, you have two supply curves. That's one supply. If you're on supply 1, you can't supply anything along supply 2. You can't supply that quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going with B too. I've convinced myself.
I agree with that.
Sounds good to me. All right. Moving along to the last one. I got C as in Charlie. Prices
I also got
insured.
C as in Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anybody else anything different? All right. See it is.
All right. Hey, I have a question for you guys before we get off. I was marking this on a PDF, so I didn't have to switch back and forth. I just want to ask, were any of the answers on the PDF version different than on the quiz, so I can just go through and mark what I have on this PDF? Or do I need to read each question and make sure the prices or the questions are the same?
Nothing's different. I'm looking at it right now, and nothing's been different than our answers.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the same.
So Sean, you biting the bullet and pressing submit quiz?
Sorry, what was that?
Are you biting the bullet this week and pressing submit quiz for us?
Yeah, I can do it. Hold on. I just have to finish 2 more questions. And then I'll do it. 6 is...
All right. Is it Richard who's sitting in your car?
Yep.
All right. Sun setting behind you. Are you one of our California boys?
I am in California.
All right. Okay.
It's pretty dark behind you, Mark. Where are you at?
I'm in Michigan.
Oh.
Come on now, it's a
So I
great
just
state.
submitted, and I got 15 out of 20, so...
Oh my gosh, really?
With all the answers we had.
15 out of 21, huh?
It's out of
15 out of
20.
20. That's
Let's just see.
C.
How in the heck do I have 21 on my sheet here?
I don't know.
That's not good. Oh, I
Well.
repeated question number 20 twice. Sorry. That's my bad.
All right. Well,
Oh well.
it doesn't tell us what we got wrong, huh?
Not
No.
until after the turn-in period is. So after tomorrow's deadline is when it gives us the answer key.
By that time, it's too late.
Well, that stinks.
I guess.
It just shows you that, you think you have a good understanding of what's happening, and then,
Then we get thrown for a loop.
yeah.
Well, thanks, guys. I gotta go, so take care.
All right. Thanks, Sean.
Well, take it easy.
See you next week.
All right, guys.
Right.
I will, once this stops broadcasting, I'll upload the link so that he has it, and then we'll go from there.
All right, cool.
All right.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks. Bye.